Namaste, angels. This is the weekly general reading for the period of March 7th through the 13th. We are beginning. I just tossed them down to start. So we're beginning with yes, party, and weekend away. Spirit says, try again. Eat cake. Somebody's celebrating something this week. And dirty movie. I will try again also. And Spirit says email. This may be a good way for you to contact somebody. If you tried to reach out the first time, it didn't work out, you want to try again via email. With the cards, are beginning with Major Arcana card Strength in reverse. And this same card is the one with which I started for the love reading. I'll say for the week, but it wasn't a full week. I think I did it like Tuesday or Wednesday of last week. So what that was making me feel then and still now is like a fear of being vulnerable, of dropping the ego, of exposing oneself, of expressing one's true, genuine feelings. It could be specifically a Leo, but honestly, I've been feeling more earth signs. And I've been seeing a lot of earth signs show up in the other readings. Remember, we had the King of Pentacles and all these things, but it could be a Leo. All right, so next we have the King of Wands also in reverse. And I think more than a Leo, this is representing the divine masculine. I think it's the masculine more so than the feminine. Look at this. It's the Page of Pentacles in reverse. That's the earth sign. It's in reverse too. All right, so we'll talk about that in a second. So the King of Wands is here in reverse. The King of Wands is the quintessential divine masculine of the tarot. In addition to being perhaps an Aries, Leo, or Sagittarius, or someone like into those traits or attributes. I mean, again, we have strength here, and we have the King of Wands immediately behind it, both in reverse, but I think more so than representing the energy of Leo. Necessarily that is about the lack of, not the lack of strength, the not using the strength, the lack of harnessing the energy of strength and using it because there's a fear that's getting in the way. That fear is of being, like I said, expressive, vulnerable, sharing one's true feelings. And as I mentioned, I was feeling very strongly earth signs, particularly that of Capricorn and Virgo, to be honest. But of course, that should also include Taurus. And for me, the Page of Pentacles is a Virgo. That's not the traditional tarot placement necessarily for the sign of Virgo, but the pages for me represent more so the mutable signs than anything else, because they're either young and or youthful and energetic and, you know, sort of like a wild card. Also showing up, Major Arcana card Death in reverse. And I think, contrary to what I said about strength not necessarily being so tied to the sign that it represents, I think this is kind of tied to the sign it represents. For some, I'm feeling that pretty strongly, that it could be attached to a Scorpio. Maybe a Scorpio that also has some earth, you know, like an earth moon and a Scorpio sun, or vice versa. Could be, and it would be a masculine, not necessarily a male, but somebody who identifies as a masculine that is like avoiding being real with you, right? Or being real with themselves, or both, for reasons, you know, otherwise unknown. I would say attributed to fear again. And most specifically, fear of being vulnerable. Now, there is a new moon this week. What sign is that new moon in? It should be in Pisces, right? We're in the sun. The sun is in Pisces. The moon should be, new moon should be in Pisces as well. Yes. And the moon is represented. The moon represents the sign of Pisces in the tarot too. So that Pisces new moon, I would say, could bring the change that you're needing. Now, also, that I didn't say that I meant to, that I was feeling about the Page of Pentacles in reverse, that it could be a fear of not feeling worthy also. It might not have anything, like where it doesn't necessarily have something to do with an earth sign. It could be of not feeling worthy, or maybe it's an earth sign that doesn't feel worthy too. Or like not having enough money, like to be able to either impress or to support and provide for and all that kind of stuff. There's like a concern about finances, and maybe the ability to flex or not, as they say, and maybe an embarrassment. Maybe that's from where the fear of being real and vulnerable and sharing comes from. But that looks like that may go away too, because we have the Five of Pentacles here in reverse as well. So when it's in the reverse, it's about things getting better, and I would say like the person feeling better about themselves as well. I'm going to shuffle a little bit now. There's that page again. I opened right to it, even after I had already began to shuffle the cards. That Page of Pentacles in reverse opposite the Five of Pentacles. So you see, this is why I feel this way. Or it's reinforced my feelings for me. And in addition to the King of Wands in reverse, now we got the Queen of Wands in reverse as well. I guess they say the feminine's not that, she doesn't get away that easily. She's, could stand to be a little bit more vulnerable herself. Both are acting as if they're trapped or yet stuck in fear, right? Frozen in place by fear. Ego. The inability to forgive. And just being afraid to be like embarrassed, like if I share my feelings with you and you say, oh, I don't feel the same way, then my feelings are going to be hurt. I'm going to be embarrassed. Whereas if you've overcome those things, you've done the work, as they say, you've overcome those things, and you really are feeling genuine love, you're going to want to express that. And you're going to want to continue to love from afar, even if the person doesn't love you. Like, that's what unconditional love means. It literally means love without condition, including the condition of you loving me back, right? Or the person loving you back. That condition too. And so it's about being able to, I love you, so I genuinely love you so much that, of course I would like to be with you, but if that's not a possibility, I'm going to still love you from over here. My love doesn't end because you're not interested or you're unavailable or whatever the case is. And this can also give us a new beginning in love or any other area of our life, maybe work. Wands often have to do with work and or travel too. So we could be making some new trips and things, making moves. The wands represent action, right? So some sort of new action, new path maybe, and may very well be one that you are deserving of. It's a reward from someone or from the universe. Again, it could be, if it's tied to work, it could be a promotion, a raise, a bonus, some sort of recognition, acknowledgement, credit for what you've done and what you bring to the table and all of that stuff. Judgment is about abundance that's earned for me, but for relationships, it can be about a second chance. And anything really can be about a second chance, a second opportunity to do something right, like try again, like the die said. Maybe you applied for something before, it didn't work out, you apply again, it works out now. Now's your time to receive your award. Judgment came up last week too, and I spoke about unexpected money and stuff. There were a couple of cards that led me to feel that there may be some unexpected money. And I got mine as well. Clients of mine sent me $333, like the Ascended Masters, 333, as payment for work that I already done. So it was abundance that I had earned, just like Judgment says. I hope that more of you, most of you, all of you really, I hope you got it too. If not money, again, something of value to do, of value to you, some sort of abundance that would be a benefit to you. I hope that you came by it, that you were blessed by it. Like they felt that they were, right? That's why they gave me the money. It was in thanks for the abundance that they received, the service that I did for them, right? So when they were available to compensate for it, they wanted to. Anyway, this week, let's see what happens this week. Begin with the card that will most directly represent us. It is the Knight of Wands as well. So we've seen the King, the Queen, the Ace, and now the Knight. Surrounding energy, close friends, family members, co-workers. The Five of Wands. We could be having conflict with them and or competition, or they could want it with us. Work and finance. Speaking of fire, it is the Emperor in reverse. He could be the King of Wands that was in reverse too, right? The Emperor represents the sign of Aries and Scorpio most directly. Lastly, love and relationship, and it's the Five of Cups also in reverse. So again, it's an improvement from being upright. We'll get more into it. All right, looking to see that everything's in frame. I realized that I didn't do the physical health or the psychic health and people's, or the spiritual health, and people seem to like that. So this one will be the spiritual health. It's the World. That's interesting. And lastly, the spiritual health is the Page of Wands. So many wands this week. I wonder why. Maybe it's because of Pallas. Pallas enters Pisces. Venus is already there. She's the goddess of love, of course, and money, abundance. So we've seen a lot of that. Pallas is a Greek god, seen as like the god of like warfare, and like weaponry and stuff. So I guess that makes sense with the wands, with the fire, because Mars also is the planet of action and aggression, also seen as Mars, the god of war. So maybe that's why there's all this fire this week. I can't think of any other transits like involving something like Jupiter or anything that would bring on the wands. All right, so let's see what we got. Everything still looks good and in frame. All right, so let me move our overall energy back into the picture somehow. And then we're going to start with that. So the Ace of Wands, as I was mentioning before, is about new beginnings, and they're usually super positive ones and often have to do with work or career. That's to what they're related. If you are having like a tough time, a difficult time, and then you pull this card, it's a sign that things are going to get better, and that's not only as it relates to work. It's just in general. Also, in general, the card is about, again, upbeat, positive energy, looking forward, looking toward the future, being hopeful about it. You have good reason to be hopeful about it. Maybe you're making some long-term plans, just likely to feel very energetic. Again, the wands could be representative of like a Martian energy that is action, that is aggression. And you just feeling that way yourself, like wanting to be a go-getter, wanting to pursue things, your dreams and all of that. They also tell you that it also tells you rather that now is a good time to start something new. Like if alternatively you haven't necessarily decided on anything to start something or considered it even, now's the time to start something new. So if maybe you had something that you would otherwise do, and you're like, you may think, oh, you know what? Then I'll go ahead and I'll get started on that now. While I'm feeling good, while I have some focus, I feel ready for the world, and to go out there and get what's mine. Specific to work, and I'm just going to go over this because again we have the Emperor, which is a fire energy in the placement of work and finance. It can mean that if you're looking for like a new position, that something new and very positive is likely to be headed your way. It could be your own business or something too. Don't negate that as a possibility. And you should be bold and in asking for what you want, need, deserve, in the work, or career, um, you know, center, arena, right? In that area of your life. And you're likely to be more successful than you would have imagined in actually getting it. Um, Health wise, this is a card of positivity and vitality and feeling good, your health, maybe reaching some new level, maybe you reach a goal weight or something like that this week. Um, it's a great time to start a new health regimen too, if you haven't begun one already. Well, they always say like any time is good right now is as good a time as any, right? Or today's the great day to start whatever it is. But this card like emphasizes that it's a really good time for you to start whatever it is you're into. If that just means like exercising for a couple minutes or two, per day or whatever interval, or eating vegetables, changing your diet, maybe you just pop it into one or two meals a week even. Or for me, something that I started seeing a nutritionist because I've mentioned my gastrointestinal issues before, and I just wanted some sort of professional guidance with it. Like, what do you think is best for me to eat, or how do you think is best for me to eat? And one of the things that she is really intent on getting me to do is to eat breakfast. It's not something I'm good at. So if I just this week added, breakfast to my weekly schedule once, twice, that would be the kind of move that this card is looking for, you to make, or encourages you to make. Moving on to the card that's going to most directly represent us this week, it is the Knight of Wands, upright. And so, we started out with the Sun, which potentially is connected to this Knight of Wands. Not the Sun. Leo, the Strength card. Leo, which is ruled by the Sun. Okay. Yes, the Strength card. We started out with that. And like about being afraid to take action. And now, like as I said, like some of the cards that came up appeared that we were going to move out of that energy potentially. And I think that this is sort of like reaffirming that or reconfirming that. Knights often bring messages similar to pages, but for me, they are the action takers too. So they can show up with a message, and it's like a message that's to let you know that an action is going to occur. It's not just like an empty, like empty words, or an empty message. It has meaning behind it because it has action behind it. Super positive, especially like upright like this, and often again related to work or career, similar to the Ace of Wands, or Wands in general, often about travel or work. And like if you have any projects that you've been working on or something, like right now my kids are remodeling bedrooms in my house. Um, their father came from down south to help, to assist, to install stuff. So those projects are going well. It can something like that. It can be. Or it could be really tied to your actual work. I guess for him, that's tied to his actual work. But yeah, it can really be tied to your actual work, and like where you're getting stuff done and you're being more successful than you would have otherwise, expected or predicted, especially the way you've been feeling, right? Like not your full self, not in your full confidence. It could be specifically at work or with work or career where you're lacking confidence. Like whereas I started talking about in the beginning, like, leaning more toward love and relationship, because I was talking about the dynamic between the masculine and the feminine, or the masculine versus the feminine, and being afraid to like speak up and express yourself and stuff. But you can be having that difficulty in work and career, like having a fear there of maybe like you get a promotion. Can I do this job? Am I ready for this promotion? Or you get a new job. Like, is this really the job for me? Maybe I applied for something I'm not qualified to do. I don't know if I can handle this job. It's like a big fancy job. Or can I start my own company? I don't know if I have what it takes to start my own company. What if these people are wrong about believing in me and making an investment in me? What if I cost a bunch of people their money and, I totally screwed things up? So it can be about lacking confidence in that area, but you have this like strength to harness. That's what the strength card showed up to say. Um, Specifically in work and finance with the knight, you might be asked to like travel in connection to your job. Like this travel is tied to your job somehow. And that should go well too. And you should even have some like really positive, like, and enjoyable, maybe even fun moments that happen. The work news is good when this card is showing up here. If you're looking for a job, for example, and you are waiting for, to hear back from like an interviewer, or you sent in your resume and you're waiting to hear back or whatever it is, you're likely to find that you got that job, right? You got that position, and it's going to be good for you. Because again, they bring messages, and then messages related to action that's going to happen. Um, Love and relationship, you could meet somebody new, often through work, not necessarily a coworker, but through work. So like maybe I work in the grocery store, I'm a checkout girl, and a guy gets in my line. For me, it's through my work. He doesn't work at the store, he's just, he's a customer, he's a client, but it's through work that I met him. It could be something like that, or it could be a coworker or boss or some other kind of subordinate or something. And this new person is somebody like you want to, take action with, like, a new adventure, and they may be like you. They may have a similar fiery sort of energy about them. Be sure that you communicate clearly with this person, like what it is you have to say. You're interested, you're not interested. Um, You're available, you're not available. You're committed, you're not committed, right, to another person. If you are already committed, yeah, definitely make that clear, or communicate your intentions very clearly, and that's going to help things. Um, yeah, that's all I can think of for that one. So let's move on to the Five of Wands. Also upright now, surrounding energy, maybe connected to close friends, family members, co-workers. It often refers to competition. And usually this too is in the area of work and career. Sometimes it can be tied to romantic rivals, like the person in whom you're interested may have several different suitors vying for their attention or something. Or maybe it's like a makeup and breakup situation. So uh, I know this happens with women, so I'll use that as the example. Guy's dating one girl, then he puts her sort of like on the back burner. He starts dating another girl, but then he goes back to the first one. And maybe even marries her. Like sometimes it takes like a while. They gotta, even though they're meant to be, or they want to be in these committed relationships, it ends up in a situation of cheating or whatever, because they gotta, before they like get married or whatever, make a final decision, they have to sort of check it out. So women, we don't necessarily understand that, especially when we are fully invested in a monogamous relationship. We don't understand this idea of needing to check things out elsewhere. But maybe like when we're older and sort of like in hindsight, or looking back, or being more fair about the thought, it's like, well, yeah, I mean, like marriage, it's a serious commitment. Do you really want to just, do it with the first person or the second person, or, and lock yourself down and not be right about it? Because once you take the step, you hope to not undo it, right? So don't you want to be as right as possible? So it kind of does make sense to check people out. And usually the reason why it's done, as far as cheating in a manner that is connected to cheating as opposed to just being honest, is again because women, typically more often than men, like we our minds don't work that way, um, where we can sort of understand and justify, oh, you want to take a break from me because you want to see if that's the person you want to make sure first. Oh yeah, sure, that's okay, that's cool. We're not like that, right? So they lie and they cheat, not to give them excuses. It just is what it is, basically. And I'm certainly not speaking for all of them either. Some people just have no integrity. They're dishonest and whatever. So that is what it is as well. Um, What are other things? Also, for me, with the Five of Wands, as opposed to maybe like the Five of Swords, which is also potentially about conflict. That one can be with conflict with anybody. You can be walking down the street, somebody step on your new Nikes, and you go off, right? You know, just anybody. But for me, with the Five of Wands, if it's not about like oneself being conflicted, like I don't know what to do, I'm conflicted, or again having a conflict or competition at work or for work, over a job or over a suitor, over somebody you invested in, then it's usually with close friends and or family, including for me like exes, especially if you were married, your ex-wife, your ex-husband, the other parent of your child, so their mom, their dad, if you are the other, right? um so I guess in that sense, I'm talking like somewhat extended family. Well, extended family usually consider like outside. This was but you might not consider your exes your family sometimes, but them too, like people with that you had like close one-on-one relationships with is who I usually see that happening with the Five of Wands. And I guess that's because like whom else do we really care? You have to be somewhat emotionally invested or tied to get like that angry at somebody that you read that you're gonna argue with them, you're gonna fight, right? Because when we don't care, we don't feed something with energy. Or at least I don't. I'm an air sign, so maybe I don't count. Maybe I'm biased in that way. Moving on to work and finance. I kind of touched on work and finance already, but the Emperor himself in reverse in this position is about like not really being um, in the mood or maybe up to the challenge um, of work, or at least in the structured manner in which you may need to be. But of course, obviously, some of us don't have a choice. Like we got to get up in the morning and go to work, or get up at night and go to work whenever you go to work, and just do what we have to do and make the best of it because it is what it is. Um, so do the best that you can to um, do the best that you can to do the best that you can at your job. To do whatever it is that it requires of you. Alternatively, what I was saying about this night can be the case for the Emperor. Like maybe you just don't feel like you have your all in there because you're lacking confidence, and um, you're unsure of yourself in terms of your capabilities and what you can do. So that's why you're sort of feeling down in the area of work. Specifically with regard to finance, you may need to look for some sort of like help. Like the Emperor is about organization, right? So if we're talking about organization and your finances, maybe you need the help of an accountant or a friend that's just really good, in math and or bookkeeping, right? Both can do your taxes, help you fill out some sort of application, a form that is asking questions about your income and things like that, or help you to find to reconcile your bank account or something like that. You may need to ask for some sort of help in the area of finance with this card in this placement. Love and relationship, and the Five of Cups in reverse. So a relationship may have just ended, and that may be good. That may be a good thing. Or you could be about to start the process of ending a relationship. It could be a marriage. Yes, the Emperor is in the work and finance placement, but I look at the Emperor in general as like a married man, or a divorcee, a widower, like somebody who is secure and established, maybe has children, and so it can be that type of situation. Um, you're probably not ready, even if you didn't just break up with somebody. Probably not ready to move into a new relationship necessarily, or at least you don't feel like you are with the Five of Cups in reverse in love, but one may still be coming your way. And again, you could be not feeling like you are because you're not feeling strong enough, worthy enough, confident enough. And that is just a feeling, right? That is something that is fleeting and we can shake off or get over once we do harness that energy of our strength and recognize, who we are and of what we're capable of, particularly when we're manifesting. Then you should be able to move beyond that. But if you really feel like you're not ready to have a relationship, or you're not in the spot, in the position to continue a relationship, it's toxic, it's whatever, then definitely, pull away, do what it is you need to do, take your time, give yourself some space, whatever it is you have to do. And then when you feel like you are ready, then you get back out there and work your magic on somebody new or on a new relationship. And for those who are sort of feeling the pains and emotions of a relationship ending or being, on the verge of ending, this is the kind of relationship when the Five of Cups shows up in this placement like this. It's the kind of relationship that's ending because it really needs to. And, the time will come when you'll realize that the relationship ended for the purposes of getting you to where you really needed to be. Whether that is because you needed to move house, you needed to move to another state, another whatever, or you needed to go back to school or change your path, you needed to meet somebody new, have a baby, get married, whatever, with some other person that was written, in your sort of book, and it was part of your destiny before you were born. So this is occurring. This piece is occurring, and you may have some emotions about it. It's happening for that reason. If it doesn't happen, then the other portions of your book can't happen, and you will ultimately, receive a relationship of which you are worthy with someone who is worthy of you and having a relationship with you, deserving of that. And it's going to, treat you like that. And it'll be mutual, right? It'll be reciprocal. Moving on to physical health, we have the world. So the world says, similar to the Ace of Wands, that health should be, on the upswing, the uptick. Things should be getting better. And it could be because you have found the help of some sort of healer, maybe, and not necessarily in Western medicine. So not necessarily a doctor. I mean, this can be a more holistic type of thing. If you haven't found this healer already, you may this week, and that will get you to, feeling better, strengthened better. I just thought about what client of mine that's in Aries a couple of weeks ago was feeling it and contacted me for healing work. And then, wrote me back to tell me how much better she was feeling. And it's that sort of thing, right? For energy work. It's that sort of thing. And this person is, like I said, not necessarily a medical doctor or does a practitioner of Western medicine, but some sort of healer that will help you get you to feeling better. And I mean, it could be the coach down at the gym too, the trainer or whatever, right? That would be a healer that's going to get you to feeling better. That's like not Western medicine, maybe something a little bit less traditional. Doesn't have to be, a spiritual healer, an energy healer, or a Reiki practitioner, or anything like that. Um, this, all that said, this should not be viewed as um, an attempt to replace Western medicine or treatment, because it doesn't. These two are to work together in tandem, in concert, toward healing, your healing and betterment. So like I can see and talk to and work with a trainer at the gym and still go to my nutritionist visits, right? My nutritionist is a doctor. The trainer is a trainer, and that's not to take anything from them. I'm sure they're certified or whatever, but they're not a doctor. So I don't have to give up my doctor just because I found the trainer. I can go to both, right? And both of them, if they work in tandem and in concert, then that's all that much better for me in terms of becoming my physical healthiest, right? That I'm trying to do. So I think you guys get the idea. Last but not least, we are moving on to the Page of Wands in reverse in terms of spirituality. And the page talks about your need to really respect and honor and listen to your own intuition. So this is another place where that strength card is popping up, because if you're lacking confidence in yourself, if you're being afraid to feel vulnerable, if you're stuck in a place of fear, then you're not really honoring and your intuition, and you're not going to really be able to listen to it, because you're going to be too caught up in anxiety and or depression and other kinds of feelings and emotions. So this is about maybe taking a moment to do some introspection, or to find some sort of peace, zen, something that's going to get you to where you're at least in a relaxed state, if not a confident state, and then we can gradually get around to releasing that fear. Like once we're relaxed, it means that we've already begun to let go of some of it. Because right when you're in fear, you right, you're not relaxed. You're sort of like on the defensive, right, and on eggshells, as they say. So once you can get yourself to, again, maybe pulling away from other people, and you're taking a moment by yourself, and you are going to the gym and or doing something else that relaxes you, um, then that is going to be sort of like the portal, the pathway to maybe moving on into I don't know. I think some sort of creativity can be tied to this with the Page of Wands, that strengthens or betters your spiritual experiences right now. So maybe that is, let's say, something creative that can enhance your spiritual experiences. Maybe like working with crystals, um, making jewelry or whatever out of crystals and beads and things. And then you realize, oh, or like making candles, making essential oils, right? That's using some sort of creative means to, in a way that I think will enhance your or enrich your spiritual experiences. And that's kind of what this card talks about. Also, somebody that you know may have some sort of important, like, spiritual insights to share with you this week. They may or may not be a fire sign, Aries, Leo, Sagittarius. But, that's very possible with this court card. And even if you're usually like the private type about this sort of thing, like it's not something that you're afraid to be vulnerable. Again, it's not something you open up to other people and talk about normally, but consider talking to a friend or two, or this person that brings you information about their take on different spiritual experiences, or maybe something that you experienced. Listen, I had this dream, what do you think about this, or I had this experience. Like I was just talking to somebody that watches my videos, a viewer, a subscriber, before recording this. She was telling me about how she'd seen an owl 2 days in a row outside of her window. Like the third day, she kind of looked for it and it was gone. So she shared that spiritual experience with me. And actually, she's a fire sign. She's a Leo, so it really fits the bill. But I'm talking about something like that, like sharing these kind of experiences, and maybe it can help you. It can, from, if nothing else, be like inspirational and motivational, right, for you. But it can also help to maybe spark something, and help to bring you clarity or confirmation or reconfirmation of something, and you'll just find it helpful. And to sort of further clarify these cards, I'm using this week on the angel therapy cards to do that. And begin, I'm not going to shuffle them. I already shuffled them before the reading. And I don't want this reading to get too long where I have to go through Movie Maker and stuff. And I think the throat chakra is a great card for us to be beginning with, and to have as our overall energy, because we have had so many messages about us being maybe afraid to express ourselves, but needing to this week, right? So that vulnerability could be because you have something to say. You got to get something off your chest. And this is about throat chakra. And the angels are helping you to lovingly speak your truth, So that's going to be the overall energy. And the card most directly representing us this week to go along with the Knight of Wands is, how perfect is that? You are a powerful, that's that strength, right? The power. You are a powerful light worker. It's safe for you to be powerful. Your spiritual power brings you great blessings in loving service to the divine. So I think that was perfect. They always give me like the best cards to clarify. They make so much sense. Surrounding energy, close friends, family members, co-workers, joining the Five of Wands. We have singing and dancing. Express yourself, again about expressing yourself, and awaken your psychic senses through the magical power of music and movement. Rather than argument, debate, we can express ourselves in other ways, is what that is saying. Work and finance, joining the Emperor, we have emotional sensitivity. Remember I said you're not feeling like up to yourself, you're not feeling yourself. But this is saying to honor and respect your deep sensitivity, as it is a gift to us all. So again, you might need to take a moment to yourself, treat yourself, take care of yourself, some self-care to bring up that confidence and bravery in facing different situations this week, particularly maybe that of work and or finance. Love and relationship, we have manifestation power. Use your spiritual gifts and natural abilities to attract your desired outcome. So to let go of the stuff that's not meant for you and to draw in that healthy, non-toxic, appropriate relationship that is meant for you, for which you are destined. Loving, honest, all of that. Supportive, health, and the world. Joining the world, we have workshops and seminars. So again, this can be like going to the gym, right? It's a workout, not a workshop, but like doing some sort of activity and or learning about something else, maybe from some sort of healer, can be what helps you in your physical health this week. Attending and giving speeches is part of your spiritual path and purpose. Be open to teaching and learning. Maybe do a little bit of both, right? And last but not least, again, with the spiritual health, our card is heal away addictions. It's time to let go of behaviors that are blocking you from your heart's desire. Ask Archangel Raphael to help you with this healing. One last message for those of you who identify as the masculine archetype. Your card is you have the unnatural ability to connect with departed loved ones, and you may find yourself doing some mediumship this week. Actually, when the moon enters Pisces, we become so much more psychic. I mean, it begins to happen already when the sun enters. But when the moon enters Pisces, all kinds of messages, dreams, it's like activation. Dreams while we're awake and while we're in a sleep, it could be either way. Visions of different kinds, signs, synchronicities, just like all coming at you like crazy. And so this may be one that you're, to which you're new, connecting, feeling the energy maybe of, or aura, or something else, maybe finding coins, left for you, or feathers or things, some sort of messages from departed loved ones, and like you'll be able to tell like that they're surrounding you. You'll feel it. And then for those of you who identify as the feminine archetype, our card is sacral chakra. So we may want to do some work in healing this chakra specifically. You're highly sensitive to chemicals, additives, processed foods, and energies right now. Respect your sensitivities by avoiding harsh items, situations, and bad relationships, harsh relationships. So we just talked quite a bit about that. And now we know why, right? It's always revealed why I'm guided to say certain things, even though I may not realize myself why I'm saying them in a moment. It always seems to, come out in the wash, as they say. Oh, that's why I was meant to say that, go off on a tangent about, crappy relationships, because it is a focus specifically for the feminine this week. Hope you guys have enjoyed the reading. Please do like, share, subscribe, comment, I didn't do very well last week in terms of replying to all the comments, but I do try to answer all of the comments or respond to all the comments. And if you are subscribing, please do hit both the subscribe button and the bell button so that hopefully you get notifications when I put up a new video. Namaste.